Now, in time-honoured tradition, let's do the top 10. So at number 10, we have Stands.
So this was a limited release, so it won't be there next week. This was a documentary about Eminem's career as seen through the eyes of his fans, very much for and about Eminem fans. And it was only in cinemas for, I think, 3 nights.
At number 9, it's the Hindi language film Sayara, which is still there.
We talked about this before. Did anyone send us in a review?
We haven't so far.
No? Okay. Well,
but there's still time.
Please do.
Number 8, US number 8 is F1.
The fact this is now its 7th week in the chart, it has held up. Although I have to say, I had a conversation with somebody for the first time in 7 weeks this week. They went, I saw that F1. It was the worst film I've ever seen. I said, why? They said, because the script was rubbish. They went, yeah, it's Brad Pitt and fast cars. They went, yeah, but the script was rubbish. I went, you're going to see it for the wrong reason.
Number 7, US number 6 is Superman,
which is kind of strangely charming in its own way and has done pretty well. This is its 5th week in the chart, so it's it's definitely on the way down. But it's I enjoyed it more than I had expected I was going to.
Number 6, US number 7, Jurassic World Rebirth.
A classic example of a director getting the very best out of a frankly ropey sequel script. I mean, the script looked like it was written by, what did they say? It would be written by AI. Dear AI, write me a sequel to the Jurassic World movies. There you go. That's it. I think Gareth Edwards did a good job with the direction, but the script was all over the shop.
Number 5, US number 4, The Bad Guys 2.
Did you see Bad Guys 1?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, if you saw Bad Guys 1 and you liked it, it's that. It's literally that. More of that.
Number 4, US number 3 is The Naked Gun.
Okay. So the general feeling at first was Mark has got a tin ear for comedy. Everybody thinks this film is hilarious. Mark is the only person who didn't laugh. Mark is the only person who didn't find it funny because he is a miserable old grump. And yet the number of conversations I've now had with people in which they went, yeah, I laughed a couple of times. Yeah, no, that's it, right? In a 90-minute movie or whatever long it is, you laughed a couple of times. The general consensus from people that like the film seemed to be, well, it's 25 minutes of comedy in it. I'm sorry. And I rest my case. Your witness, Your Honour.
I mean, the only thing I will say is that just imagine how much funnier it would have been if the characters had played it straighter.
Yeah. And Sanj, just imagine how much funnier it would have been if they hadn't done it.
Well, kind of like, an open space.
Yeah, just like literally
with a tumbleweed.
Nothing at all. That would have been funny. That would have been like, what's his name singing, 100 Green Bottles on stage on, the Whiskey A Go-Go. That, it went on for so long that by the time he got to the top 10, people were literally standing up and cheering. Anyway.
One last thing I wanted to say about Naked Gun when I was thinking about it was that just in terms of Liam Neeson's chosen voice for his character.
Yes.
Which he's taken his voice from Taken.
Yes.
That same voice.
Yes.
And that's not Liam Neeson's normal voice. No. Leslie Nielsen used his own voice.
Yes.
And that the moment that you put on an exaggerated voice, you're saying, I am a caricature.
Yes.
I'm a big cartoon.
Yeah.
And then it's very difficult to kind of take what is happening to you seriously at all.
Yes. He is not underplaying it. He is overselling it. Like with a, absolutely. And also, incidentally, what accent is he doing? He's doing Liam Neeson growls. I tell you, it's kind of vaguely transatlantic, but not.
Well, it is that, he goes down here somewhere, and then occasionally there'll be something that'll bring to mind that is. It's kind of it's uniquely Liam Neeson.
I was reminded of Sean Connery in in The Untouchables. You remember Sean Connery's?
Oh gosh.
Whoa. Anyway,
Sean Connery in any film. I mean, Hunt for Red October, where he talks about coming from Vilnius.
That's right.
In his submarine. At number 3, in US number 3, is the fantastic Four First Steps.
So I thought I liked it very much. I loved the design. I want all the furniture.
Freakier Friday is UK number 2 and US number 2. Rockin' Chimp says, never been the biggest fan of the original, but this was as good as that. While to my surprise, it maintained the same kind of tone as before.
Yeah, I really liked it, and nobody was more surprised than me. I went into, Naked Gun thinking, oh great, a Naked Gun movie, and thought it was boring. And I went into Freakier Friday thinking, really? And then I laughed, and then actually at the end of it, I got all teary. And when it got to all the messages about, hey, we're all family together and everything, I was going, yes, we are all family together. I was like, why am I crying at this?
And in some contrast, UK number one, US number one is Weapons.
Sanj, you've seen it. And okay,
I have.
You go. I'll be led by you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we've had loads of Weapons correspondence, and tune in next week for more. So this is from Josiah, who says, Dear Freakier Friday and Taco Tuesday, I saw Weapons during an early access screening at the Alamo Draft House in Lower Manhattan. Like Mark, I was intrigued by the image of the ghostly assault rifle and actually muttered to myself in the theatre, wait, is this an allegory about school shootings? Mm-hmm. The answer, as it turns out, is yes, but only within a wider thematic context. Weapons is ultimately about the decimation of the American dream by an out-of-touch gerontocracy that undermines the future of younger Americans to maintain its grip on power. In the past 5 years alone, we've seen Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Representative Jerry Connolly, and yes, President Joe Biden refuse to relinquish power to younger replacements, all with eventually disastrous results and to the direct benefit of Donald Trump and his crypto-fascist agenda. One major issue in which the older generation has consistently failed to meet the moment is gun violence. American boomers and Gen Xers are significantly more opposed to gun control than their younger counterparts. As a result, a largely elderly Congress routinely refuses to advance substantive legislation on the matter, even when shootings occur in schools, and claim the lives of children, including children the age of those who disappear in the film. I believe that the ghostly gun, therefore, is just a subtle way of reinforcing the movie's central thesis that there is no single more destructive force to the future lives of young Americans than the present actions of old Americans. How's that for an uplifting message? Tinkety-tonk and down with the mass proliferation of guns. And that's from Josiah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I give you our audience correspondence, the finest available on a movie show. And I do think that those things are all in there. Thank you for that email. I keep thinking about that image, and I agree with what you said. It is about that, but as part of a wider discussion. So yeah, thank you for that email.
Very good. That's Weapons. I thought it was great.
Yeah. So tell me, Sanj, because tell me what you thought, because it really affected me.
I agreed completely with your review of it last week and Josiah's email as well. I think that it's more layered than it at first appears.
Yes.
And it kind of stayed with me in that sense. But also, I don't think there's anything creepier than creepy children. Creepy old people, you go, yeah, some old people get a bit creepy. But children being creepy is just, that really freaks me out. And so, just the image of them running alone is kind of like, put the shivers up me. There are bits about it that, there are still, there are open-ended questions about it. We don't know necessarily the how, or a little bit of the how, but we don't know why. We don't know what the purpose of that is.
I think it's at its best when you're not told how and you're not told why. I think the tonal shifts are like so widespread that, okay, there are things in it that don't work. There are things in it that seem messy. But overall, like I said, no one's going to come away from this feeling underfed. And I think that it's at its best when you don't know how or why. And obviously, when it starts to explain things, it narrows its horizons. That's just necessary. And funnily enough, you and I will return to this later on in the show when we're discussing something in Take Two, which is a mystery that is then solved. But I think that there is so many ideas in Weapons that I will forgive it any of the things. And like you, I've had the same experience that I have thought about it a lot since I saw it, and what appears at first maybe to be, piece of entertainment, really, really starts. You think, oh yeah, and that, and that, and that, and that, and how terrific that we had that email. So I'm really glad you liked it.
No, I did, and particularly actually the construction of it. That kind of, it's not quite Rashomon, but
it's Rashomon style, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Rashomon Plus.
Rashomon Plus.
It's kind of, because it adds to the story.
Is that like Disney Plus? Rashomon Plus.
It's a little bit like that is Weapons, and that's the number one film both here and in America.